water vapor. And when is Congress going to put something on? I'm waiting for EPA to say we're regulating water vapor.
Well, again, any decision that I make or anybody else makes has to be based on evidence.
That's right.
And you have to get the evidence from somewhere.
Get your science.
And you have to do that. You don't have any choice but to do that. And I don't care what business you're in or whether you're connected with the government or whether you're connected in making decisions in private industry. You still have to make those decisions, and the decisions that you make are based on the very best evidence that you can find. That's all I am saying when I say that. I'm trying to find the best evidence that I can find. And in attempting to find it,
hard job.
well, yeah, but in trying to find the best evidence on that particular subject, it has been my assessment that the best evidence lies with the experts in the field. I've got to take that position. I can't rely on people who are not expert in the field. And most of the people, I mean, the climatologists are generally seen as the people who look at these long-term trends relative to climate. Those are the people who are generally viewed as the experts on the subject, and they are almost unanimous on the subject.
And many of them have just been discredited.
Well, not many of them. I think they picked a few of them. But it's, again, you know, you do the best you can with the evidence available to you. And if I hope they are wrong. It would make life easier for all of us if they're wrong.
Not if our coal is gone.
Well, the coal's
You can't get that
coal's
back
not going
overnight.
anywhere. Yes, Mike.
Oh, go ahead, Harry.
Yeah.
It isn't going.
Congressman,
The companies that mine it do.
you and I regret we're debating with our Congress. You are the person that we send to Washington. You're tested at least every 4 years. Congressman.
Twice, every 2 years.
No one can walk in your shoes even though we want to. But when you want to talk about coal in the environment, my dad was 47 when he died of black lung. Talk to me about the coal. My brother was killed in Korea. Talk to me about war. I can relate to it. And when you have the Glacier National Park going from 150 glaciers to 22, you don't have to be a scientist, congressman, to know something's wrong. When you see in Kingston, Tennessee, what's going on when the TVA's cesspool erupted, and all these kids downstream are getting sick from all that ash that was buried there. We're going to kill ourselves off if we don't do some things that you and others are trying to do in Congress. So I just inject that. Now my question.
Appreciate
we're not
that.
supposed to be debating our congressman, we're supposed to be raising questions. So one suggestion to you, sir, as you look to try to do something about helping the cost of health care to come down and not accelerate, please look at why we as a country are not negotiating on our Medicare pharmaceuticals when we have negotiated a much better deal with the VA, for the VA, where they're buying the pharmaceuticals from the same companies. We ought to be able to get the same deal for Medicare non-VA that we're getting for the VA, but we're not doing it.
Well, do you know what happened, don't you?
I do not.
Well,
As you do as our congressman.
First of all, thank you very much for those comments, and it just points out, I think, that there are very many more aspects to every issue than people would like to admit. But on the Medicare issue and the drug prices that the Medicare system pays, there's no question but that we ought to do exactly what you say. And the Medicare, the U.S. government right now is prohibited by law from negotiating with the drug companies. That prohibition was placed in the law in the Medicare Part D bill that passed, the drug benefit bill that passed during the Bush administration. They put that in there at the behest of the drug companies. which kept the public, the taxpayers, from being able to negotiate with the drug companies on price. I think it's a great concern, and it ought to be changed. And I have to tell you that one thing that concerned me about the health care bill was the fact that the drug companies were particularly anxious to see it pass. In fact, I understood that they spent something like $12 million in the last few weeks to try to help get it passed. And it didn't fix this other problem that you're talking about. But it's a very big problem, and it could very much positively impact cost and what taxpayers have to pay. Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna give you an easy one.
Yeah.
And Paul will tell us when the last one. You're from Versailles, middle of horse country. From your vantage point in Washington, as a citizen of Kentucky, are you concerned about the horse industry? We hear a lot about it and the gaming issue. What's your vantage point on that?
Well, I am concerned. I am a supporter of the horse industry, and I support it because of the jobs that it creates. It's not only does it create jobs in central Kentucky, it also contributes to the beauty of the landscape, which we're all, I think, very, very proud of. The horse industry needs help, in my view, and I think we ought to do everything we can to help it. It's a tremendous ambassador for us. It allows us to sell Kentucky overseas. People know about Kentucky because of the horse industry in other countries. It's good for our position in the global economy that we have a brand like the horse brand. The same thing's true with the bourbon industry. Those are signature industries for the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and I support them, and I think we ought to be doing more for them, more incentivizing of those industries rather than taxing them like we do. I think we overtax them. And compared to the way other states tax some of those industries, the bourbon industry immediately comes to mind, we tax it higher than most other states do. I think somebody in the bourbon industry told me that we were second amongst the 50 states in taxation of their industry. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.